What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Zero Lab. Today we are taking a look at an Articuno deck in Pokemon TCG Pocket. And this is a little bit different of a version of Articuno than you might have seen before. Often we see it paired with things like Greninja, things like Starmie EX, or even that Frostmoth that can put our opponents to sleep. But today we are just playing Articuno EX, two of them, and no other Pokemon in the deck. Obviously, we're pairing this then with 18 trainer cards, filling out the deck. We have 2 potions, 2 X speeds, 2 Pokeballs, 1 hand scope, a Pokedex, 2 red card. That Pokedex could just be a second hand scope if you wanted. 2 red card, 2 Professor's Research, 2 Misty, 2 Giovanni, and 2 Sabrina. Obviously, our hope is to open the game with Misty in hand, utilize that Misty, flip a few heads, and get attacking with that Articuno EX on turn 1, and potentially win games on turn 1 of the game, even going first if we can open that Misty. You can attack going first in TCG Pocket, you just cannot attach an energy from hand or from your energy zone. But if you play the Misty supporter turn 1 going first, you can get energy attached to Articuno EX, and we could potentially win games on turn 1 of the game, even going first. So we're going to jump into some battles here with Articuno EX and see how we can do against our opponents. The Emblem event is still going on. We're still working our way towards 45 wins. So we're going to jump into these Emblem battles and see if we can get a few wins with Articuno EX. We are going second. There we have our Articuno EX starting that. No Misty in hand, but we'll see what we draw into. Looks like we're going up against a Charizard deck, which is usually a pretty good matchup for Articuno. Again, as long as we can flip a few heads on those Misties and get going quickly, because they have to spend all their time using that Moltres EX to power up their Charmanders, Charmeleons, etc. on the bench, and they have to find their evolutions. So we have a few turns to work with to power up our Articunos and start doing big damage. Obviously, we did not hit the Moltres for weakness. The Moltres is weak to lightning, but we do hit the Charizard for weakness, and we did top deck the Misty. All right, let us see what Misty can do for us this game. Can we get 2 heads? No! Tails. Oh well. That is Misty, sadly. Right now in the game, there are some conspiracy theories out there that Misty is coded differently. I don't think that's probably true, but man, it feels like it sometimes. I swear I only hit Tails on that card. Alright, Inferno Dance coming down from our opponent. We'll see what they flip here off of that Inferno Dance. 1 heads, 1 tails, 2 tails. Alright. I was going to say, if they get 3 heads there, our Misty's going to feel even worse. We are going to research here, see what we can draw into. Obviously, we want to be drawn through our deck, find our other Misty as soon as possible. We're going to Pokeball here, grab our other Articuno out of the deck. And then we're just going to attach for turn on to the active Articuno. We have 2 X speeds in hand in case they try to Sabrina stall us a little bit. We'll be able to get out of that. Hopefully our opponent does not have the Charmeleon in hand already to evolve that Charmander. And it looks like they don't, so another Inferno Dance coming down here. One tails, 2 tails, 3 tails. Alright, lots of tails being flipped in this game right now. That is alright. We are fully powered up to be doing our Blizzard attack now. But first we're going to play our Professor's Research. See what we can draw into. There's a red card. Our opponent did not have the Charmeleon in hand, so I don't think we want to red card them right now. We are going to Blizzard. This is going to do 10 damage to each of the benched Pokemon, and we'll see how our opponent is able to respond on this turn. Obviously, our opponent had a fairly large hand, and we did have the red card, but because they didn't have that Charmeleon in hand, obviously, to evolve that Charmander last turn, I didn't want to red card them into that. So we just kind of read there that their hand was bad, even though we didn't have the hand scope to take a look. Looks like no Charmeleon here still. They did Sabrina us, to try to stall us a little bit, but we do have double X speed in hand, so we'll be able to free retreat out of this active Articuno. 2 heads coming down off of that Inferno Dance. You're going to see those come down onto the Charmander. There is our Misty. Just trying to decide if we want to Sabrina here. I think we hold the Sabrina though. So we're going to Misty the active. Let's see if we can at least hit 1 heads here. Never lucky. I don't know, man. I don't want to buy the conspiracy theories about Misty, but certainly feels bad. Most of the time, I get no value out of that card. I guess we'll see over the course of this video if we can get any more value out of our Misties. We're going to retreat out of this Articuno EX into the other one, and we're just going to do another Blizzard here to knock out the active Moltres. We have the Sabrina in hand, and that will give us the game next turn, depending on if they bench something else, but Sabrina will have to bring up that Charmander if they don't, and that will be the end of the game. Waiting for our opponent. There is a research coming down from them. Do they have the Charmeleon now? They do. That means, well, we still have game in hand with Sabrina. But we'll see if they bench anything else. If they had like some other random EX, basic EX that they could bench, then they could use that as a way for us to not be able to Sabrina up that Charmeleon, but they do not have that. Now we're just going to Sabrina up this Charmeleon. It's got 7 energy on it, and that will be the game. Our opponent conceded, and there is 1 win with the Articuno deck. Let's jump into another game here. See if we can't flip some heads on Misty. Let's get that turn 1 attack. All right, send in a thanks to our opponent, and we'll jump into another battle. See what we're able to do here. All right, flipping heads, that means we are going first, but that doesn't mean we can't attack, as long as we can top deck that Misty. Start the battle here. Looks like we're going up against a Lapras deck, or a deck that at least plays the Lapras EX, so this is going to be a Misty battle. Whose Misties will hit heads? That is going to be the question. Sadly, we don't have a turn 1 Misty. We're going to Pokeball here, get our other Articuno EX out of the deck so that we don't draw into it. And do we red card our opponent here? Why not? Give them 1 less card to work with. We will pass it back. Alright, so did we red card them into the Misty? That would be really unfortunate. There's a second Lapras EX coming down. Attach for turn. And a pass back to us. Alright, we found a Pokedex as our top deck. That just means we get to look at the top 3 cards of our deck so we know what is coming next. So next we have a Pokeball, and we're then an X speed, and then a research. Oh boy. None of those cards are Misty, are they? And we'll end our turn there. Misty coming down from our opponent. We're praying for a Tails. Let's see the coin flip. 1 heads, 2 heads, 3 heads, 4 heads. We are screwed. And this is one of the problems people have with Misty in the game. I mean, that's just ridiculous. We can't win this game now. We literally just can't. this game now. We're gonna concede and go to a third game here. Yeah, nothing to do about that. They drew into the Misty, they got those coin flips. Well done to them. Let's jump into a third battle and see if we can get the Misty luck. That is all you need. You just need that Misty luck. We're going first again. That's all right. Again, if we can start that Misty in hand, which we do, we can get the turn 1 attack. It's all about flipping those heads. Let's see what we can do. Turn 1, going first, knockout. Let's do it. Well, we're not going to be able to knock out this Mewtwo, but we could put ourselves in a very good spot if we're able to get the turn 1 attack here. Come on, Misty. Do what our opponent's Misty did last game. Please, 4 heads. 1. All right, we got 1. Sadly, no attack then, turn 1 going first. But that at least lets us use Ice Wing next turn. But yes, unfortunate not to have just flipped 1 more head so we could Blizzard this turn. Pokeball going to go find us our other Articuno. Just take that out of the deck. Probably should have played that Pokedex first to make sure our next top deck wasn't just super sick. Should we Sabrina? I think we will. I want to hit into this Ralts, because the Ralts is really the only way this Mewtwo is much of a threat to us. We have the Sabrina in hand to bring up the Curlia again if they do evolve it and retreat out of it. So we'll see what our opponent does here. We'll be Blizzarding next turn. So if they leave this Ralts active or they don't, go back into the Mewtwo. Okay, that's huge for us because now we're going to be Blizzarding into this Mewtwo, which has done no damage to us. And we're doing bench damage to their Curlias. Alright, we're going to attach for turn. And let's see. Blizzard, do that bench damage. If they don't find the Gardevoir in 3 turns, I mean, we're going to win anyway. But 2-shotting this Mewtwo, obviously, with that Blizzard. If they do have a potion, we do have the Giovanni in hand as well. So that will let us get over that hump as long as they don't have 2 potions. There's the Gardevoir, but they don't have the ability to side drive this turn because they only have the 1 energy on the active. So they're going to attach both energies. The question is, does that mean they're retreating out of this Mewtwo? And they are. But what are they retreating into? They retreat into that Ralts. Yep, we can now play our Sabrina, and they either have to give us the Gardevoir or the Mewtwo, and they don't really want to give us either one of those. So attach for turn on to that Articuno. Sabrina, force them to bring up either Gardevoir or Mewtwo. Whichever one they choose to bring up is going to be really bad for them. Give us the Gardevoir. I'm going to play this Pokeball. Just get it out of the hand in case we see a red card. Pokedex, get that out of the hand in case we see a red card. Red card is our next card. And then we are going to Blizzard. Alright, taking out that Gardevoir, putting more damage on that bench Ralts and Mewtwo EX. And we'll see if our opponent just concedes here. They are very behind at this point. In a really good spot ourselves, so we'll see what they choose to do. There's a Pokeball. They could tank a few more hits with another Mewtwo. They chose to retreat into it, but that doesn't do much for them. Attach for turn onto the bench Mewtwo. Retreat out into that bench Mewtwo. And our turn. We are just going to attach for turn onto the bench Articuno. and then Blizzard. Now it's just a matter of time. Alright, are they just gonna give us the Psychic Sphere here for 60? There it is, and then a Blizzard will knock out this Mewtwo EX. Alright, another Blizzard coming down from Articuno EX, and that will give us the game. So, the only game we lost was where we didn't find Misty, our opponent found Misty early and flipped 4 heads, so not bad. Obviously, this Articuno EX deck is quite fun to play, and like I said, when you get that turn 1 Misty, and you're able to attack turn 1 going first, or even second with Blizzard, it's just absolutely incredible. Basically, that's an unbeatable strategy if you can pull it off. It's tough to pull off, but it is a capability of this deck, so you can't discount that. But if you like this video, don't forget to give it a like, comment down below what you thought of it, and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you guys in the next video.